I lived in a house that I am entirely convinced was haunted. It's not necessarily one event that led me to believe this. Rather, it's an accumulation of instances that makes me never want to step foot in there again. To begin, the house itself was creepy. It was built in the early 1900s and was run down. The first thing I noticed was that there were bolt locks on the outsides of all the doors in the house. The bathrooms, upstairs bedrooms, and basement door all had either a bolt lock or latch that could lock someone inside of the rooms. Second, there was a hatch in the ceiling of my boyfriend and my bedroom. I shared this house with my two roommates and my boyfriend who would occasionally stay over. On the first night of our move, my boyfriend and I decided to drink and explore the hatch that was at the top of our room. We slowly creaked open the ceiling hatch and peeked inside. It was pitch black, and it took a while for our eyes to adjust to the darkness. When it finally did, we freaked out at what we saw. There were 2 hidden rooms up there, complete with creepy children's doodles on the walls. The weird thing about these rooms was that the only way to get up there was with a standard ladder, but it was clear that people had been living there. Thirdly, while searching the house, we found a large, old, framed, black and white picture of a baby. For the first month of living there, I would wake up at around 3 a.m. every night. I would hear constantly movement in the attic, scratching, thudding, and what sounded like footsteps. One morning, I woke up as usual and didn't hear anything. All of a sudden, I hear what sounds like someone running from one side of the attic to the other, and a door slam violently. No one else in the house seemed to hear any of these noises, but these incidents messed with me so bad that I had to take sleeping pills so I wouldn't wake up at 3 a.m. This incident, even though it was horrifying, is not the most horrifying event that has happened in this house. After a while, I came to realize the attic was not the worst part of the house, but rather the kitchen where the door to the basement was. Back then, I was a student at the time and didn't have a job. This meant that I had to spend a lot of time alone in the house. I would be alone at home only to go downstairs to the kitchen and find the cabinets and pantry doors open. A couple of times, I came downstairs to find the basement door, which had a bolt lock on it, wide open. It got to a point where I would not hang around downstairs after the sun went down, and I would absolutely never go into the kitchen after 10 p.m. I started to leave the cabinet doors open, so when they moved and I was home alone, I wouldn't notice it. No one in the house believed that there was anything wrong, until one day I come home to find a new bolt lock on the pantry door. I later found out that my roommate had been home alone doing laundry, and was upstairs when she heard a loud thud. Apparently, she came downstairs and the pantry door was wide open, and her laundry, which was in another room, had now been thrown all over the place in the kitchen. She ended up grabbing her things and left the house for a week. The absolute creepiest thing that happened to me while in the house was when I had to go into the basement after I blew a fuse. The door to the fuse box was on the floor, so I'm standing there trying to match up fuses when all of a sudden I get this feeling that I've never felt before and haven't felt since. All the hair on my body stood on edge at the same time, and I was covered in goosebumps. I can't even begin to describe what this felt like. I noped the hell out of there as fast as I could and didn't even care to reset the fuse. This house seriously screwed with my head and ended up messing with me on a real personal level. Living with this on a daily basis started to drive me bananas. I once asked the landlord if the house was haunted, and he laughed it off, saying, "I don't believe in that stuff. The mind is a powerful thing. But the woman who lived here before you guys was convinced it was."